This would be a level 2 DI set. The subject-wise breakup of the marks obtained by 4 students in 5 subjects during their board examination is given below. Assume that all subjects carry equal maximum marks unless specified. So the marks of Jeffrey, Tomin, Arya and Sansa have been given and they have been represented by a pie chart. So looking at this, we can also say that it's as has been stated in the question that say the maximum marks for all the subjects is the same. So for the time being, let us assume that the maximum marks for all the subjects is 100. So look at the first question. If the minimum percentage required to pass in any subject is 33.33, it is also known that Arya passed in all the subjects, then what can be the minimum percentage that she can score in English? Let us look at Arya's marks. Arya's marks represented in degree terms are 80 degree, 40 degree, 60 degree, 60 degree and 120 degree. Since Arya passed in all the subjects and the minimum marks are 33.33 in any subject to pass, I can say that 40 degrees represent 33.33% and I need to find the marks that Arya scored in English. The marks that Arya scored in English are represented by 60 degrees. Now, 40 degrees represents 33.33%. Thus 60 degrees represent 50%. Hence the answer is option C. Let's look at the next question. If the pattern of the examination is changed in such a way that the maximum marks for math is double the maximum marks for any of the other subject, then what is the ratio of maximum marks in all the subjects put together which Jeffrey can score to the maximum marks in all the subjects put together which Tomin can score? So I need to find the ratio between the maximum marks, max marks, Jeffrey by max marks Tomin. Now we have been told that say the maximum marks for math have been doubled. As I had stated earlier, let us assume maximum marks for all subjects is 100. So in this case max marks for math has become 200. Now for Jeffrey, if I see, if since the maximum marks has become 200 and the degree representation of his marks are 144 degrees, 72 degrees, 55.4 degrees, 44.2 degrees and 42.4 degrees, I can say that 144 degrees signifies 200 marks. And this would be correct because the next higher degree score is 72 degrees, which would in that case signify 100 marks, and that is correct. Hence, for Jeffrey, I can say that 144 degrees signifies 100 marks. Sorry, 200 marks. So it would mean that 360 degrees, that is the total maximum score that he could have scored, is 200 by 144 into 360. So that would be 500 marks. Let us look at the similar case for Tomin. Now, the degree representation of Tomin's marks are 120 degrees, 72 degrees, 50 degrees, 70 degrees and 48 degrees. If we say that 120 degrees signifies 200 marks, then that would mean that 72 degrees signifies more than 100 marks. Which would mean that he has got more than 100 marks in science, but the maximum marks in science is 100, what we've assumed. So we cannot say that 120 degrees signifies 200 marks. Thus, what we can do is we can say that the next highest, which is 72 degrees, signifies 100 marks. So I can say he scored 100 in science, that is 72 degrees signifies 100 marks. For Tomin, 72 degrees signifies 100 marks. Hence total marks, which would be 360 degrees, would be 500. Hence maximum possible marks that Jeffrey and Tomin can get is 500 for both. Hence the ratio is 1:1. Answer is option B. Next question. If the pattern of the examination is changed in such a way that the maximum marks for math is double of the maximum marks for any other subject, it's been given the breakup remaining unchanged, then what is the ratio of maximum marks in all subjects put together which Sansa can score after the change in pattern to the maximum marks that she could have scored before the change in pattern? So before the change in pattern, we see that the highest mark Sansa got was in science, represented by 144 degrees. So in that case 144 degrees represented 100 marks. So before change in pattern, 144 degrees represent 100 marks. Thus total marks that she could have gotten maximum marks was 100 by 144 into 360, that's 250 marks. So the maximum possible marks she could have gotten earlier is 250. After change in pattern, we see Now if we say that for Sansa 144 degrees signifies 200 marks, then we see that her marks in science, which is 80 degrees, would again cross 100. Similar problem as we had with Tommen in the previous question. Hence that is not possible, and following the same pattern as we did in the previous question, we would say that let 80 degrees signify 100 marks in this case. Thus the total maximum marks that she could have got is 360 degrees, which would be given by 100 by 80 into 360, which is 450 marks. Hence the ratio of after to before is 450 by 250, which is 9:5 or 9 upon 5. Answer is option D. The next question, if the marks scored by Jeffrey in math is maximum possible, then what is the average of percentage marks scored by him in all the subjects? Let us look at Jeffrey's breakup. So, since the marks scored by Jeffrey is maximum possible in math, we can say that Jeffrey got 100 marks in math. So 144 degrees signifies 100 marks. And we again have to find what is the average of percentage marks scored by him in all the subjects. So if 144 degrees signifies 100, then 360 degrees signifies 100 by 144 into 360, which is 250 marks. Thus, Jeffrey got 250 marks. Now he got 250 out of 500. Hence his percentage marks is 250 upon 500 into 100, which is 50%. Thus his average percentage mark is 50%. That is option A.